Hello everyone, my name is Ameline Bardo and I am a postdoctoral researcher working on the evolution of manipulative abilities in hominids. I am actually working at the Muséum in Paris, and for the next 15 months I will be working on the projects that I will present to you today. Evolutionary adaptative characteristics, including increase of specialization of brain's hemispheres and specific hand morphologies such as a longer thumb-finger ratio, are generally associated with enhancement in manual dexterity and fine motor movements, such as the one needed during stone tool use. However, as soft tissue cannot be fossilized, cognitive and functional understanding in the fossil record can only be inferred through inferential and comparative analysis of morphology and function with extant hominids capabilities. This is crucial to be able to discuss the relationship between past behavior and brain morphology. The study of hominin brain evolution relies mostly on evaluation of the endocranial morphology of fossil skulls, but only some general features of external brain morphology are evident from endocasts compared to the ones on the brain. For the evaluation of fossils' hand, based as well on morphology, we miss all of the soft tissue that prevent us to quantify the overall shape of the hands, while it was found that wilder hands in the current human population show a stronger grip force. In this context, the PaleoBRAIN project is an interdisciplinary project, in which I work, that aims to study for the first time the correlation between the shapes of the brain and the endocast within a sample of modern humans using MRI acquisition, with the aims as well to use this model to address the shape of the brain's endocast in well-preserved fossil hominin specimens. In addition to look at the brain endocast morphology, a good understanding of the variability of behaviors in living humans is necessary to be able to infer correctly possible past behaviors. In this context, I will present here the methods and the principal aims of my studies. My objective is to go beyond the brain. For that, I will study in detail the behavioral asymmetries on volunteers, including the one doing as well the MRIs in the project, to quantify the strengths of these lateralized behaviors. I will quantify key behaviors such as manipulation, vision, communication, and auditory perception. Indeed, laterality is not just about hand preference, such as right-handed or left-handed individuals. Humans are characterized by a face-hand-foot combination. This combination can be homogeneous, all right-handed or all left-handed, or cross. So, for example, right eyes, left hand, left foot, right hand. The aim is to quantify the kind of combination we have across participants, such as homogeneous or cross-laterality pattern, and to quantify the strengths of these different patterns. I will also study the relationship between form and function of the hands. Indeed, in the modern day, hand function is affected in part by demographics and lifestyle factors, such as different kinds of occupation or the practice of sports, but a comprehensive understanding into the relationship between dexterity and these factors, as well as with manual asymmetries, is not overly understood. Overall, we now require a deeper understanding of how manual activities frequently practiced during particular occupation, sport, or the playing of musical instruments might influence hand function in a larger, more diverse samples that also consider variation in age, sex, and size, and shape, and hand asymmetry. I will present you now my planned protocol. I will study in detail the behavioral asymmetries on the 30 volunteers who will be doing as well the brain MRI in this project. But I will also increase my sample by studying specifically participants who do different specific occupations. So, for example, participants who use intensively their both hands or during a more precision work, but also practicing sports and or musical instruments. I will use first a questionnaire to quantify in details everyday lateralized behaviors and to provide information on the manual activities of each participant in order to link this information to specific behaviors that will be quantified in a second step. Thus, in this second step, different experiments will be conducted, such as unimanual dexterity tasks, bimanual dexterity tasks with and without tools, eye preference, and dichotic listening for ear preference. I will test the link between form and function of the hands by measuring the external morphology of both hands and by measuring power grip and precision grip strength. I will also measure the size of the arms as a confounding factors of grip strength. In particular, compared to previous studies that focus more on the dominant hand, I will test both hands because they are both important and complementary during, for example, manipulation. I will present you now my expected outcomes for this study. Understanding how modern-day influences affect hand form and function may be an important comparative tool for evolutionary inferences. More specifically, recognizing the relationship between form and functional change in the modern human population could enable a more comprehensive understanding of how and why the hand has changed over the last few million years. In the long term, I hope to obtain a unique database with data as well from modern hunter-gatherers to provide a crucial referential context for a better understanding of the anatomy and the manipulative behaviors of fossils. Moreover, the behavioral result obtained in this study will then be linked with the MRI data of the brains and skulls of each participant in collaboration with the researcher in charge of these aspects of the project. This study will allow discussing the possible relationships between brain asymmetries and behavioral asymmetries in living humans with explorative analysis. For example, it can be tested if the petalia are different according to the strength of hand laterality, such as it has been shown that the right frontal left occipital petalia are more prominent in right-handers. I would like to thank you for following this presentation, and thank you to the organizer for approving my participation in the workshop. Listen my colleague Nicole Labra-Avila, who also works in the PaleoBRAIN project, if you want to know more about the correlation between the shape of the brain and the endocast in living humans. I look forward to hear your questions and or comments, and I look forward to presenting you in 1.5 years the results of this project.